Match found.
I'll fight anybody. I'll fight everybody.
Viper.
Harbor.
बुरबुर झाट एजेंट पैंचोट हारेंगे अभी तो.
So much fuss over nothing. Someone get me a bat. I'll finish this.
There.
Cutting through.
Gun here.
Yes.
Thank you.
Need help. Many enemies say.
Fake teleport.
Spike planted.
Anyone else?
Last player standing.
Default.
One bullet per enemy. That should be enough, yes?
No.
Saving. Gun here.
I need backup.
Let's push mid.
Cutting through. Yeah, I'll take down their Viper.
Solo that thing.
क्यों? Viper ही तो.
Equal.
मार दे 50.
अबे मैंने हेड दिया उधर.
55 तो मैंने भी दिया.
Cutting their vision. Spike planted. Cutting their vision. Last player standing.
तूने साइफर को हेड दिया.
हाँ.
कितना ही पड़ा होगा. इसने भी हेड दिया फिर भी नहीं मरा कुछ भी.
La máquina de
78 दिया था.
Time to jump.
Harbor. Harbor AFK.
Harbor.
Here.
Enemy spotted. Need
Mid. Cypher mid.
Decoy.
मैं बहुत लूँ यार.
Portal closed. Headshot. Time to jump.
$80 on Cypher.
I need backup.
अबे इधर है.
अच्छा मैं बैठ के तो मैं
A side.
Cypher is 80.
Spike planted.
Here.
One enemy remaining.
वाइपर यहाँ है.
Last player standing. Clutch.
भाई साहब 74 कोई तो डैमेज देता रे.
मैंने दिया सा.
कितना?
City needs me.
40.
I can't be away.
40.
Let's send it.
थैंक यू भाई, थैंक यू.
Cutting through. Watching here.
तुम्हारा मिड देख रहा हूँ.
अब किल चुरा लो तुम.
Cutting through. I need backup.
B.
भाई 3.
भाई इधर बैठा है साइफर.
I know exactly. Spike planted. Reloading.
आप क्यों छोड़ रहे हो रे सब ऐसे? 55 गए KO. जी भाई हो गया. मैं नहीं खेल सकता.
He dropped.
I'm fucking done with this.
Last player standing.
भाई क्या साइड छोड़ते आ जाते हो पूरी.
मैंने ये होल्ड करी.
बी पे कौन था भाई बताओ. साइफर ही नहीं अपने में वाह.
वो है तो चांबूर. Who was me? चांबूर. नहीं था.
साइड कंट्रोल ही नहीं.
कोई नहीं. पीछे था ही नहीं भाई. कौन करता.
लाइफ में कभी रैंक अप नहीं होना है भाई मेरा तो.
You are powerless.
नहीं.
Raising.
One enemy remaining.
Can't use
Mid
that.
होगा. Maybe mid or halls. Care halls.
Portal
और
closed.
तो मैं हूँ.
हाँ तो
Time
mid
to
होगा.
jump.
Mid also.
अबे इधर ही बैठा है.
तो बोला तो उसने.
अरे मैं टीपी करने गया था. उनके स्पॉन गया.
इस टाइम का फायदा है. स्पाइक पे जाना भाई.
स्पाइक हाँ स्पाइक पे बैठ जा.
इधर था स्पाइक. एक पे बाहर नहीं था. अबे अब ही इज राइट हियर.
अरे डोंट गो जस्ट स्टे ऑन द स्पाइक ना. एक जाके पिक दे रहे हो सारे.
ए स्पाइक देख पहले. उधर स्पाइक है.
गन जाएगी फालतू में हमारी.
बाइक है? हाँ ना भाई।
Nope, नहीं है, मेन पे नहीं है.
30 seconds left.
Cypher is main.
Ultimate ready. And that's the last one. Spike spotted. A.
I'm here.
Now we're
Back
talking.
नहीं आना
Don't
हमारे
jinx
पास।
it though. Say no. I need a drop.
हार्डवेयर
एंगल पकड़ बैठ गया तो चेक भी नहीं कर रहे।
Cutting through.
हार्डवेयर मिड देख मेन देख.
Get out of my way.
B.
Ball bang nice.
Cutting through.
I'm blind.
Enemy spotted. B. Rush is ready.
Spike down B.
हैं?
One enemy
क्या
remaining.
कर रहा है रेना? हैक वैक ऑन किया है क्या?
बोल तो रहा हूँ मैं। अबे ऐसे एंगल पकड़ के बैठे चेक नहीं कर रहे।
There.
Does anyone have guns? Merci.
हार्बर इसका रिवील तोड़ियो पीछे वाला। और रिवील तोड़ के वहाँ बैठ गई हो। देख स्लो वे। ड्रोन तोड़ पीक करके। बस वहीं बैठ।
Welcome to my world.
Portal closed.
I have ult. I have ult.
I know exactly where you are.
I'll return.
Spike planted.
D. Fake teleport.
One enemy remaining.
तो इसका जीत कर दे।
चेंबर.
Reloading. Good try, idiots.
If you are not doing
148 दिया भाई मैं उसको.
अब दूसरे एंगल पे बैठी है।
Time to jump.
Focus now. Eyes on me.
Hey,
पीछे गिरना।
Don't mess with me.
नाइस।
No one watching.
Portal closed. Cutting through.
मैं ड्रॉप करा.
स्पाइक
अबे
है।
मैंने था
Spike
मेरा
down.
डीटीपी था
Attacker
मेरा.
spawn.
Fake teleport. Decoy.
यार लेट हो गया। स्पाइक उधर भी जा रहे हैं वो भी जा।
I'll handle this.
इधर ही है हार्बर। देख वापस पी के बाहर है।
प्लांट हो रहा है अभी.
एक मेन है एक मेन है।
Spike planted.
I'm back.
भाई कुछ भी भाई. कुछ भी.
साइड वन बैक साइड वन मेन। तू ही लगा मार चल रहे हैं।
Wave crashing.
Dizzy's up.
बैक
My buddy's defusing. The wingman's down.
Last player standing.
बैक साइड.
Take aim, Zenfire. Let's not complicate it.
I'm watching here.
बी पे आ जा।
Time to jump.
शंबुर इसके रिवीलो ड्रोन तोड़ दियो फिर कहीं भी भाग जा दो चाहे कहीं से भी तोड़
पिक कर रहा
पीछे
मैं पिक कर रहा मैं
हॉल्स देख ले को
Watching here.
आई एम वाचिंग योर मिड
Watching here.
उसने देख लिया मेरे को कवर दे
Time to jump. Decoy.
I'm leaving A.
Over here.
प्लांट होता प्लांट
Spike planted.
somebody's there
Last player
Ah!
standing.
अबे default.
हार्बर कहां है एफ के भाई सेक्सी भाई
लिखना हुआ था
I went to peek him and they flashed that main peek also holy fuck
गन दे जा बार बार
Cutting through.
There.
BB
बैकस्ट्रीप जाना
भाई साहब हेडशॉट भैंचोद हेड पे भाई मैंने खेल रहा है ये मालूम
bro
Last player standing.
हाउ द फक डिड केव नॉट डाई
गलत बंदा मर गया bro.
Cutting their vision.
unlucky bro
Occupational hazards aside, you love how much now.
मैं पीट हुआ है बस
Need a drop. Reloading.
भाई करा
Knife
दे
करके alt करके
अब क्यों आ रहा है क्यों जा रहा है ये
no I was here
पागल बना रहा है
Cutting through.
Speak up if you need a gun. Need a drop.
स्मोक डालना इधर
Enemy B.
भाई साहब कुछ मैं नहीं खेला यहाँ पे है भाई मिड से ये घुस रहा है मिड से जा रहा है जेट
bro mid give up bro give up
Coming A. Planting.
On my mark. Spike planted. Up and away.
तेरे ऊपर है
Last player standing.
अबे मत मरो यार
Last
इतना
round
ये
before the switch.
So no, treat yourself to something nice while you still can.
फिर आगे
Need a drop.
I need a drop.
हार्बर
देखो बना रहे दो
need a drop
Time to jump.
कोई एक मिनट देख लो
मैं छकवा दिया इसने
Watching here. Here. Decoy. Time to jump.
Spike planted.
CT.
Fake teleport.
Backside.
Nowhere to run!
My ult's ready.
Nice.
I'll handle this.
I'm pushed.
Here.
One marked.
One broken one. One backside one broken.
One enemy remaining.
I'm back. Here.
Defuse the spike.
Switching sides.
Watch them move.
भाई AFK हो जाओ और दिख जाएगा मैं. गोश भी फेंक.
ये जा क्यों रहा है FK?
मुझे क्या पता यार, पता नहीं कौन है.
आ जाना रे हार्बर, क्या हो रहा है?
Out of charges.
Reload.
अबे यार
दीवार मिलेगी या नहीं? हेलो हार्बर.
कुछ
I
नहीं.
need backup.
On my mark.
ब्लाइंड क्यों
Watching
गया वो
here.
तो.
Decoy.
अभी या एमएन पे?
अभी यहाँ इधर से मेन से करो. अबे यार मेन से खड़ाओगे साइड.
Mid doors, one is mid doors.
मैं फ्लैश दिया, बैक फ्लैश, बैक फ्लैश.
Flashed.
अबे पीछे ऊपर.
One flank, one flank. I'm low.
Last player standing.
ब्रो हार्बर भाई क्या चोरी भाई. रैंक अप में ये होना है हर बार पे. रिपोर्ट मार रहा हूँ मैं तो भड़वे को. मार चोर.
Look your enemy in the eye. It helps with accuracy.
I need backup.
There.
हार्बर.
Decoy. Time to jump.
Reyna spike.
आओ रे. 78 वाइपर बैक साइड. क्या कर रहा है भाई यार?
माय बैड का इधर.
ये पीट दो यार.
10 राउंड के बाद आ
कर
रहा
भी. अरे यार
वाइपर है अंदर. वाइपर टाइप है.
Right there.
नाइस.
Last player standing.
नाइस. चलो ये
Why the fuck am I depressed?
मेन से
I
खड़ा
don't
होके
know.
साइड पे फ्लैश देने के को.
It seems these
Okay, okay.
strangers want me dead.
On my mark.
They're not the first.
Spike.
On my mark.
Here.
अपना बस वो कुत्ता भेजना, तुम साइड पे मत आना.
हाँ हाँ. विंगमैन भेज दूंगा प्लांट के लिए.
मैं आ जा रहा हूँ यहाँ पे.
हम बस उधर ही खेलता हूँ. तुम ही खेलना हो तुम.
There.
Decoy. Cutting through.
फ्लैश करो.
One plus one.
Time to jump.
My bot is
Spike
down.
down A.
I got the spike. 140. Viper will come back.
येलो के ऊपर है.
Hey,
भाई!
default, एक default.
क्या फ्लैश है? अच्छा उसका था. उसका फ्लैश था.
ऐसा तो मत करो.
Oh my god!
Vibe check. We feeling good? Hope so. Hope so.
हाँ तो अपना गोला फेंकने किधर की तरफ
सब हॉल घुसो भाई
दोबारा वैसे ही करो
I'm going to fucking kill myself भाई
फ्लैश करो
ब्लाइंड
Cutting through my
उधर कराया करो
आदत
I have ult, I have ult, I have ult.
हाँ अल्ट करो
Dead flank out us.
लेफ्ट
कुछ भी
मार गया ये
Unlucky bro, unlucky.
मोली बैक
Last player standing.
लेट हो जा रहे हैं इधर पे खेलो एक बंदा और कोई यहाँ से इधर देखते रहा करो
Match point.
I don't
That's
care.
better drop gun.
5 of them or 50 of them. Let's go.
Need a drop. Thank you.
They are so dead.
पीछे प्लांट करा ना क्या
कहाँ पे?
पीछे पिरामिड की राइट साइड में इधर
अच्छा ओके ओके पोस्ट प्लान प्रॉब्लम होगा ना
मैं और ब्लैक एल्ट कर रहा हूँ
अरे उधर तुम्हारा टूटेगा
इंटेल देता हूँ रुक जा ध्यान दे
My ult's ready.
जस्ट तू देख क्या पता है
सामने है लेफ्ट राइट खाली
Here.
यहाँ पे साइपर मार्क किया हूँ रे
ओह
I'm back.
Get out of my way!
My ult's not ready. Cutting through.
भाई ब्रिज
Last player standing. Defenders win.
Welcome to my world.
But the wolf is able to catch it, so he kicks it, causing it to weaken its grip, and he's up by completing quests, so he realizes that actual combat allows him to gain experience. He notices that all of his stats have increased, thinking it's more efficient to get stronger by leveling up, because he acquires 5 points with each level, while the daily quests only give him 3 points. But Jinwoo realizes that he just defeated 5 monsters, thinking he shouldn't get carried away, and he checks for magic gems, but he
Match
finds an
found.
item instead. The system tells him
ठीक है भाई लोटस दे दे असेंट दे मत बाइंड मत दे मादर चो हेवन तो निकाल ही दिए कोई ब्रीच क्या बोलते रेस खेल लो मैं ब्रीच खेलता हूँ हेलो
Stand in my way.
प्लेयर टू रेस हाँ परफेक्ट ले लो बराबर है लॉक कर देगा को
No, I think this thing.
It's perfect.
A revealer would have been better. You already have flashes and all now.
हाँ it's fine
Like a Sova fade.
अंधा साइड घुसना है अंधा करके घुसना है रिवील हुए तो भी क्या है
I don't know, free kills through all I'm saying, not for this thing, not for entering side.
that he found magic gems, but he finds an item instead. The system tells him that he found a shop, and he tries to buy something, but he realizes that he can't, because his level is too low. He decides to sell the item, allowing him to earn 20 gold, but he wonders how much it's worth in cash, thinking it isn't much, because he appears to be in an E-rank dungeon. He wonders how he can clear the dungeon, because he doesn't know where to find the teleportation stone, and he thinks he isn't strong enough to defeat the boss. But he thinks he might stand a chance if he continues to level up, and he encounters a pack of wolves, but he isn't afraid of them. He charges in, swinging his blade, and killing them as they approach him. He ends up getting surrounded, but he isn't bothered, and he slaughters all of them, allowing him to level up. Jinwoo realizes that his sword is about to break, but he knows that weapons are expendable, and he's glad that the fight is over. He checks his inventory, and he realizes that he has already acquired the teleportation stone. But he decides to stay in the dungeon
Much found.
because he wants to defeat the monsters to get stronger, thinking they will disappear if he teleports away. Jinwoo heads deeper.
Your arms are looking great. You need
Quiet.
Pushing A. Gecko, आजा. Clove, you play C, no? Or you play B? हाँ बस.
I'll flash first.
No.
There.
Double satcheling.
I am dazing.
Right there.
Then I'll blind
Need
heal.
backup.
Or I'll
Yes.
blind heal.
Need backup.
Satcheling
Someone
there.
from B destroy this now.
Clove, break the door.
There.
Clovey.
Break the door.
Satchel up.
On my way.
Take out.
Are they in?
Spike planted.
Breach 78. Dusted. Flash out.
One enemy remaining.
शेरिफ ढूंढ.
कहाँ है?
No
ढूंढने बोला ना इसीलिए.
An injured dog bites hard. Careful.
Need backup.
Raise nade first. Don't satchel first.
Right there.
इसलिए daze दे रहा हूँ ना.
Where are they, Cypher?
एक इधर दे,
Right
एक इधर दे.
Cornball.
Blinding.
There.
BB.
Flash out. Clearing out.
Drop in a smoke.
Push me waterfall.
खोल रहा हूँ. Ready रह.
Open. Yeah.
One back, I think.
Spike planted.
ये है क्या?
All clear. A. Come with me.
Wait me, I'm low.
I'll daze.
I'll tag and flash side.
I'm just gonna run in.
Tremor.
Back.
Stick.
Face.
अरे यहाँ पे.
On site and one.
One enemy remaining.
Coming heaven.
One enemy remaining. Last player standing.
अरे उसको इतनी जल्दी अल्ट कैसे आया? अच्छा 6 किल पे लवड़ी.
Hey, little man, pump us up. Let's hear it.
Reloading.
किधर से? ये.
Need backup. Right there. Concussing.
अरे 80 लौड़ी healed.
Last player standing. Spike planted.
Into the dungeon, slaughtering the monsters along the way, as he notes that his battles are becoming easier.
I'll leave. Reloading.
I need a drop. Tuck tuck.
We'll just push. पुश आगे एकदम मार चोद देंगे उसके. आजा रेस.
They're scanning this.
Hit them fast, hit them hard. Right there.
Roll. He didn't get stunned. Or flashed. Nice.
Ah! 40. All 40. Cypher baby rotate.
Last player standing.
Like I never left.
Spike planted. Last player standing.
पहले ही क्यों नहीं दिया?
We learn that he can assess a monster's level by looking at the color of its name. The monsters with white names are weaker than him, while the ones with red names are stronger. He knows he's making progress because the wolves used to have a red name, but now it's white. He senses the presence of the boss, and he isn't sure if he can defeat it. He decides.
He does not miss much.
No.
I'll just go pick B and come.
I'm here to stay.
One tap dick.
Blinding.
Drop in a smoke.
Sorry, I'm sorry. What?
Last player standing.
No, right now. Nice.
Enemies dazed one. भैंचोद कुछ भी गेम बनाते हैं.
All right, homies, chill.
Wait, Brick, you play A-Link only, play info here, and then you all this thing, stand for the spark on the pushing side.
Reloading.
No, they're waiting for the click and then they're doing
Reloading.
flashes.
Reloading.
Side hold के लिए खेलता है.
Don't push.
I will tell you.
Enough. Concussing.
There's some.
A sound, yeah.
Drop in a smoke.
Blasting.
Breach is side.
Yeah, breach side one unknown.
One enemy remaining.
Breach is side.
Spike down. A. One enemy remaining.
Last tree. Tree.
Blinding.
Hey, don't pick him. Don't pick him. मर जाएगी. खुद ही मर जाती रे.
Yeah. वो टाइमर 12 सेकंड का टाइमर है.
हाँ तो वही ना पीक ही नहीं देते हो जाता.
Reloading.
Save some demo for me.
Brick, play B here and stun when they're coming inside.
अच्छा ऐसे दूँ ठीक है.
हाँ.
Decides to
Vandal
fight
दियो
anyways.
वापस.
He reaches a swamp and he sees a creature charging at him with incredible speed. He tries to block, but he gets knocked back.
Get your C.
At least play.
Off your feet! Trevor!
Face them.
Nice one.
मैं blind हूँ तुमको.
Out of charges.
Let them open door. Yeah, let them. No, don't fight. Don't fight. Let them be. Chill.
I can flash for you.
Flash there.
One enemy remaining.
One more? Sorry, buddy, it's over.
I'll do my job. You do yours. Out of charges.
Link.
Behind me.
Get out of my way!
Play for pick.
There's some.
They do? 3, 2, 1.
Cussing. Blasting. Flash out.
No people!
Blinding.
दो है चिपके हुए 2 है.
Enemy remaining.
Like I never left!
Nice.
I'm still here, amigo.
Back, and he realizes that his sword is broken. A huge serpent appeared.
This reminds me of this one time where I,
I need a drop.
Can someone drop me?
Talk, talk.
Thak.
Right there.
This smoking main.
Right there.
Don't smoke here, okay?
Guarding
I'm
here.
operating.
here.
They will smoke if they do it. No sound there.
Amateur.
Nice one.
कृषि अच्छा अच्छा अभी
B trip destroyed. You watch B.
So रुक जा, I'll do one thing.
Clove got ult.
Clearing out.
One C site entered.
I'll blind for you guys.
Flash out. Guarding here.
Spike
Guarding
down.
here.
C.
Jet
One
side
enemy
है.
remaining.
side.
Flawless.
Blind काम आया.
You're not being shot at. You're doing something wrong.
Nah.
Hell of a job.
Reloading.
Hell of a job. Hell of a job. Hell of a job. Hell of a job. Yeah. 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 No. Guarding here.
You want to
Guarding
play?
here.
Let's play.
Guarding here.
Break the flash, no?
broke it. Opposite.
Concussing! Blasting! Blinding!
No peeking! Had your fun!
Spike down.
Abe!
Last player standing.
Which why you hopping?
No, I was hopping, but I switched to pistol, no?
But why? Why you hopping?
Marji.
I kill them. Simple as that.
Defending में नहीं तो attacking में करूँगा क्या भाई?
Reloading.
Sorry, let someone else fight like Raze or someone. You need your util.
Sovereign Phantom.
Reloading.
Yeah, go with Raze.
Roll for initiative.
Yeah.
I'll get a pick at B.
There's some.
Flash out!
Stun तैयार रख.
हाँ. Ready?
कर.
Trevor! Blinding!
अरे यार.
Last player
Bhai,
standing.
they were not stunned?
Spike planted.
Didn't reach.
कुछ यार
Time is done. They already crossed.
Breach, the full point of choosing this agent is for the util only. There's no point you pushing alone.
पुश भाई मैं क्या किया, मैं तुमको हेल्प करने आया था बी तोड़ के.
No problem. It's fine. It's unlucky.
I mean, you just stay on link only and just this thing smoke. I mean, stun for them.
अरे स्टन दिया था भाई, अल्ट भी दिया था मैंने.
Too late.
तभी तो खोला. The problem is Cypher's crosshair, bro.
As Jinwoo notes that its name is orange, so it is the same level as him, and he realizes that its body is covered in scales, so his sword is useless against it. It tries
Last
to
round
attack
in the
him,
half.
and he manages to dodge, but he wonders how he can defeat it. It starts pursuing him, and he struggles to avoid it.
Again. They will commit to that.
Keep stun ready.
They're close.
मेरे को सी से कहीं आया है, बी से आया है. आया बी. Bean.
Like I never left.
Cover him.
Time backside. Hold.
Spike planted.
Alt.
Right.
One enemy remaining.
Both club got it.
Child plant.
But it hits him with its tail, blowing him away. A train is about to crash into him, so he dashes away, and he barely manages to avoid it. He thinks he still isn't strong enough, wondering how hard he has to work to escape his life of constant ridicule.
Switching
He
sides.
continues to struggle against it.
They think they're better than us.
Reloading.
Where do you want to fuck them up? A, B, C. Ass, boobs or clits?
B. You can go B. No sir.
You want B, boobs? Okay.
B जाना है.
Right there.
Raise, satchel ले ले. I'll stand for you here.
Reloading.
Where is Spike? Spike did the bridge.
Reloading.
Right there.
Smoke those two and we'll take B-Link.
A-Link?
Right there.
I'm dazing.
Satchel out.
Trevor.
Blinding in.
Flash out.
Just blinded in.
Right here.
Spike down.
Got the spike.
Last player standing.
Hell of a job.
78. Timber.
Huh? This fucking door.
Spike planted. Concussing.
हाय भाई पहले ही टपली मार देता, भैंचो डोर आगे कर दिया.
The serpent, as he recalls that he's considered as the weakest hunter in the world, thinking the weak are always powerless against the strong, so he's determined to become stronger. He charges at the serpent, evading its attack and plunging his sword into its scales. It tries to attack him, but he avoids it, and he leaps into the air as the serpent tries to eat him. But he suddenly disappears, and the serpent realizes that he's clinging to its body.
Reloading. Reloading.
Blinding 3, 2, 1.
Blinding.
Enemy
Be
spotted
blind.
A.
Too long. Too much. 100.
Trevor.
104. Flow 104.
Standing.
110.
Jinwoo uses his strength to crush its scales,
You
and
know
it
what we
appears
should
to be in
do?
pain, so
I'll
it
tell you.
smashes him against a pillar.
We should win.
But he doesn't let go, and he presses down on the serpent's neck with all his might, causing it to
Can I
bleed
get a
as he
drop?
continues to tighten his grip. The serpent
someone
runs
buy me,
out of
please?
blood, and it crashes to
Reloading.
Let me flash.
No, I'm seeing my cam.
No.
Cam hai.
Flash.
Oh, you're using cam? Then let me.
Yeah,
I'll flash
just
side.
Cam or flash, don't know.
No.
Door.
Let's just go B, no?
Gun here.
He's in.
Flash out.
Side.
One inside. One is in B, one is in
Ah! Fucking bastard! B से आएगा.
Last player standing.
bro.
Okay, he's better.
Bro.
to the ground, as the system informs Jinwoo that he has defeated the boss. He receives a powerful dagger as a reward, along with a vial of the serpent's venom. Thinking its effects are terrifying.
What?
Who is this pussy?
Who is this?
Deagle.
I need a drop.
One more.
Could I have a drop? No whinging. Come back for once.
Blinding. Right there.
Right here. I've one of these.
Ah!
You had your fun. My turn.
Last player standing.
Anyway, let's just fucking go A. यही करते रहते हैं भाई, हारे तो हारे, जीते तो जीते. ये ट्री का कवर ले, ट्री से ले लेंगे बस साइड. आ जाओ.
Make sure to take advantage.
I can ult the 3.
There.
I'll flash here
Right
first.
there.
Flash there, I mean.
Right there. Flash out.
I'm dazing tree. Wait, 3, 2, 1. Open the door. Open the door.
Cussing. Blinding.
I'm stunned.
Plant the spike.
Bye, Reina, come. Pain, sure.
Last player standing.
What the fuck? क्या हो रहा है भाई?
How they be on
My
that?
ult is ready. You know, I could just outlive them.
Need backup.
Race, get your shotgun. B चलो.
Right there.
All B. Glove.
Satchel out.
Trevor. Flash out. Clearing out.
Wrong buddy out.
अबे सामने.
Last player standing. Spike
GG.
down B. Team Ace.
because it
Match point.
We know more than we did before.
Reloading.
I need a drop.
Maybe I can't aim. That's why we're losing.
Okay, let's get set up.
Maybe they're pushing.
No peeking.
Cussing!
The gun begins.
Blasting!
Hey, up!
Enemy remaining.
Backstab, last backstab. Operator.
Okay.
Get out of my way.
Get the up. Actually get the up. निकाल सकते हैं.
No.
I hate waiting. I need a drone.
Can you take half shields?
No.
On half shield also this much.
ये अपनी
Reloading.
bisexual क्या ये binary bipolar
Bipolar.
non-binary. Oh my god.
Tack.
Bisexual.
Flash out! Need backup.
Don't go tree.
Trevor!
Why is no one coming with me? For fuck's sake. Side तो चलो. 4 लोग क्या देख रहे हो यहाँ पे?
Spike sticking. Thanks for the land.
Breach low.
Why am I alone?
Off your feet!
Bro is sticking.
Last player standing.
GG.
Ready, Pep?
Defenders win.
Fuck it.
Permanent. Permanently reduces strength to increase defense. With the boss defeated, the dungeon returns to its original state, and Jinwoo leaves the subway, wondering where everyone went, as a soldier approaches him, telling him that civilians aren't allowed in the area. but the soldier sees him carrying a sword, realizing he's a hunter, so he apologizes for being rude, saying he will escort him to the area. Jinwoo notes that the city is in ruins, and the soldier tells him that there was a dungeon break, but all of the monsters have been dealt with, except for the boss. He senses a powerful presence, and we see a huge golem fighting a group of hunters, as the civilians watch them from a distance. The hunters struggle against the golem, because its defense is ridiculous, so even their most powerful attacks are working. Jinwoo arrives, and he notes that they're weak, because most of them are only E-ranked. He realizes that Jui is with them, and she tries to cast a spell, but she recalls what happened in the dungeon, so she loses her composure. Jinwoo realizes that she still hasn't gotten over the trauma, and he decides to help them, knowing they're fighting against a D-rank boss, which is weaker than the one he just defeated. The hunters are about to get overwhelmed, but Jinwoo launches his sword with incredible strength, and it hits the golem, creating an opening for the other hunters, who use the opportunity to take it out. One of them wonders how they were able to defeat it, because their attacks weren't working, and he sees the sword on the ground, so he inquires about it. A soldier points to Jinwoo, but he's nowhere to be found, and we see that he has already left the scene, because he wasn't expecting his attack to have such an impact. Back in the hospital, Jinwoo continues his workout routine, and a nurse enters his room, but she's surprised to see that he's already ripped, wondering how he was able to achieve it in just a few days. She informs him that he's going to get discharged, but as he's about to leave his room, she asks for his number, because she can't resist his charm. We meet the S-rank hunter Beck, who is invited as a special guest in a TV show. The interviewer asks him about his daily routine, so he tells her that he's always training, because he doesn't want his combat skills to get rusty. He reveals that he used to work as a firefighter, so he knows how to respond to dangerous situations. Gina is watching the interview, but she realizes that she's already late, and Jinwoo tells her to be careful on her way to school. She realizes that she's already late, and Jinwoo tells her to be careful on her way to school. She notices he looks different, thinking it must be because of his training, and she's about to leave for school, but he gives her an umbrella, telling her to stay safe. After she leaves, he checks his daily quest, as he notes that he gained muscle mass, thinking it must be because his stats increased. He notes that he still hasn't distributed his ability points, thinking he needs more than just strength to defeat powerful monsters, so he decides to use them to improve his agility and perception. At that moment, he receives a call from the landlord, who tells him that his rent is due, so he promises to pay immediately. He knows that he has become stronger, so he thinks he'll be able to earn more money by raiding dungeons, but he notes that it's difficult to find a good job, because his rank is still at E. He thinks about undergoing a reevaluation, thinking it will allow him to raise his rank and earn more money. But it would attract too much attention, knowing his case is unusual, so he ultimately decides against it. He's surprised when he sees a high-paying job for rank E hunters, so he rushes over to the location and completes his daily quest along the way. He meets a hunter named Donsuk, who explains that his party only has 6 members, and they need 8 people to enter the C-rank dungeon, so they're hiring hunters to fill the slots. But he mentions that Jinwoo won't share the spoils, because he won't be fighting the monsters, but they will pay him a large commission for joining them. Jinwoo accepts the job, and Donsuk orders him to carry their luggage, but he wonders why the party has no healer, so Donsuk tells him that they're already used to fighting without one. He finds this strange, and he reads the contract, realizing that they won't be liable for anything that happens to him in the dungeon, but he signs it anyways. A D-rank hunter named Yujin approaches him, revealing that he also accepted the job, and everyone is impressed with his equipment, thinking he must be from a rich family. They prepare to enter the gate, as everyone notes that it looks enormous, but Jinwoo explains that the size of the gate doesn't matter, and the Hunters Association classifies it based on the amount of magic power it exudes. They enter the gate, and they realize that the dungeon is too dark, so the mage Kyuwon lightens up the area, allowing them to see what's inside. But Jinwoo notes that it reminds him of the temple, because it's pitch black, and there are no monsters blocking their path. As they head deeper into the dungeon, they hear monsters approaching, so everyone prepares for battle. But they're surrounded by openings, so they panic, wondering where the monsters will come from. but Jinwoo observes his surroundings, and he warns them that the ants will attack from above. So they're able to respond on time, and they start fighting the ants, as Jinwoo notes that they're used to working together. He observes that Yujin lacks strength, but his equipment allows him to make up for it, and he's glad that everyone is doing well, but he admits that he's frustrated, because the job is too easy. They're able to defeat the ants, and they start searching for magic gems, as Dan-suk wonders how Jinwoo was able to predict where the ants would come from. He mentions that it was just a gut feeling, and Kwon notes that the ants have bite marks, thinking they were attacked by a powerful monster. Yujin is happy that he was able to kill a monster, revealing that this is his first mission, so his father bought him expensive gear, but Jinwoo warns him to be cautious, because he can sense that something's wrong. At the White Tiger Guild, we see the hunters in the gym when they notice an explosion, but they maintain their composure because it happens all the time, knowing their guildmaster is just training. We see that Beck blew a massive hole into a boulder, but he mentions that it isn't even a warm-up, ordering his subordinates to clean it up. We return to the dungeon as Jinwoo continues to carry the luggage for the group, but he thinks that Dan-suk's party is suspicious because they have no healer despite their excellent teamwork. They see injured ants along the way, thinking the boss should be nearby, and as they proceed deeper into the dungeon, they reach an area surrounded by mana crystals, thinking they're going to be rich. Yujin reads Jinwoo's contract, and he explains that the crystals don't count as spoils, so Jinwoo must receive a portion of it. Dan-suk agrees with him, but he reveals that the boss is guarding the crystals, and they know that the dungeon will close after it's defeated. So he suggests mining the crystals before they deal with it, knowing it's still sleeping, but Dan-suk explains that they left their mining tools, so they need to leave the dungeon to get it. They leave Yujin and Jinwoo inside, and Dan-suk orders Kwon to block the path, so he uses his magic, causing an explosion which seals the entrance. Jinwoo realizes that they have been betrayed, as he recalls that Song-chi warned him that the crime rate for dungeon raids is high, because there's no way to tell if a hunter has been murdered in the dungeon. Yujin blames himself for talking about the contract, but Jinwoo knows that Dan-suk's party was planning to kill them from the very beginning. The spider approaches them, and Yujin promises to protect Jinwoo, who notes that the spider is stronger than the bosses he defeated so far. He believes that he's no match for it, but he recalls his encounter with the statue of God, knowing the spider is nothing compared to it. So he tells Yujin to stand back, as he prepares to fight the boss. Dan-suk's companion wonders why they're using the spider to eliminate Jinwoo and Yujin, so he explains that he didn't want to risk waking it up. He thinks that it will go to sleep after it eats them, and he reveals that there's a small path above the cave, planning to use it to return, as he mentions that Jinwoo and Yujin are as good as dead. Yujin thinks that Jinwoo doesn't stand a chance, because he's just an E-rank hunter, but he refuses to back down, thinking he's strong enough to defeat it. He charges in, attacking with ridiculous speed, and Yujin is surprised to see this. But we cut to Gun-yi, as he tells Jinchul that he's exhausted because of his meetings. So Jinchul invites him to a sparring match, thinking it will help him unwind. He accepts it, saying he's out of his prime, but as they start training, Jinchul struggles to hit him, and he counters with a devastating blow, allowing him to win the match. Jinchul thanks Gun-yi for his guidance, saying he's amazing, because he's incredibly strong for his age. He tells Jinchul that his moves have improved, advising him not to neglect his training, because it will help him survive dangerous situations. We return to Jinwoo, as he tries to cut the spider's legs, but he realizes that its armor is too tough, and he notes that its attacks are deadly, thinking it could kill him in one hit. He struggles against it, as Yujin wonders how he can move so fast, thinking he must have intentionally lowered his ranking by controlling his magic. But Yujin becomes afraid, because few hunters are capable of doing this, and they're usually psychopaths who take pleasure in killing. Jinwoo realizes that his fatigue is increasing, knowing it will cause his movements to slow down, so he thinks about using his dagger's special abilities to end the fight. He sees the spider's head, thinking it's the weak spot, so he charges in, but the spider spits acid, forcing him to retreat. He knows that he needs to close the distance, so he uses his dash skill, allowing him to move even faster. He attacks the spider's head, and it has no effect, but he refuses to give up. So he continues his assault, but his fatigue accumulates, causing him to slow down, and he crashes to the ground. The spider is about to strike the finishing blow, but he uses his full recovery, allowing him to dodge it, and he launches a surprise attack, stabbing the spider's eye. The dagger's ability activates, paralyzing the spider and draining its health, as Jinwoo continues his relentless assault. It crashes to the ground, and the system mentions that the boss has been defeated, but Yujin can't believe his eyes, thinking he was right about Jinwoo. So he tells Jinwoo to relax, as he mines the crystals, but at that moment, Donsuk's party arrives, realizing that the boss has been defeated. They think Yujin was the one who killed it, and Donsuk tells him to eliminate Jinwoo, saying they will spare his life if he obeys them. But he refuses, preparing to fight them, so they start approaching him, and at that moment, Jinwoo receives an urgent quest, telling him to eliminate them. He's surprised to see this, realizing that the system is telling him to kill people, but Kwon suddenly attacks him, blowing him away. We meet the hunter Hegan, as she starts talking with her friends, asking them how they're doing. Her friend reveals she entered an A-rank dungeon to train, but it was cleared in an instant, because Cha easily defeated the monsters. The girl thinks they are lucky to be in the large guilds, and she mentions a rumor, saying there are teams with an abnormally high casualty rate. We return to the dungeon, as everyone thinks that Jinwoo is dead, but we see that he's still alive, and he recalls that he lives in a world where only the strong survive, wondering how he forgot about this. He's about to lose consciousness, but he realizes that the system wants him to survive, so it's telling him to fight for his life. He gets back up, surprising everyone, as he realizes that he has to be strong, because the weak people will have everything taken from them. They call him the weakest hunter in the world, but he asks them if they're ready to face the consequences, as he unleashes an ominous aura. Donsuk's companion approaches him, reminding him that he's just an A-rank hunter, but he suddenly kills the man, slicing his head off. Everyone is surprised to see this, wondering when he pulled out his weapon, and he notes that he just murdered someone, but he knows that he did it to save his own life. Donsuk's party attacks him, but he manages to defend himself, slaughtering them as they try to kill him. Kwon tries to blast him, but he suddenly disappears, and lands a counterattack, taking him out in an instant. Donsuk freaks out, realizing that Jinwoo was hiding his true powers, but he mentions that he's stronger than his companions, as he uses his skill to strengthen his body. He believes that Jinwoo relies on his speed, and he's using his dagger to deal damage, but he knows that it won't work against him, because his body is as hard as steel. He charges in, trying to avenge his companions, but Jinwoo smashes him against the ground, as he realizes that he doesn't stand a chance. So he starts begging for his life, telling Jinwoo that he can have the crystals, but he mentions that Donsuk tried to kill him 3 times, reminding him that no one will know what happens in the dungeon. Jinwoo slices his head off, allowing him to complete the urgent quest, but the dungeon starts collapsing, as the gate is about to close. Jinwoo realizes that he received a reward for completing the urgent quest, and he acquires a skill called Murderous Intent, which weakens the enemies by causing them to panic. The official believes them, and she judges them based on their equipment, thinking Yujin was the one who defeated the boss, while Jinwoo did nothing to help, but Yujin thanks him for saving his life. Jinchul receives a report about the incident, but finds it suspicious when he hears that Jinwoo was involved, and as he looks at the file, he recognizes Donsuk, because he's the brother of a famous hunter. Jinwoo returns home and Lee turns him down. Jinwoo prepares to leave, but Yujin begs him to listen. Them are already in guilds besides one named Min, who's currently retired. Jinwoo realizes they plan to poach one from another guild, but he warns that it's a bad idea. Yujin reveals his brother can't be the guild master because he didn't awaken as a hunter, so it's his chance to take his place. Yujin points out how they can help each other. Jinwoo can participate in raids while hiding his power, while Yujin can convince his father of his success if he only has help from an A-rank hunter. He shows Jinwoo the building they plan to use as the guild's headquarters, valuing it at around $20 million, and he offers it in exchange for his help on 19 more raids. Jinwoo considers the offer, but thinks that since he's the only person that can level up, he will eventually reach S rank, so 20 million would be nothing when that time comes, and he ends up turning down the offer. Meanwhile in America, we meet Don-Suk's brother Don-Su, and he hears the news about his brother. He knows his brother was murdered. Looking at the information on the two survivors, he plans to fly back to Korea to find them, but his assistant tells him his schedule is full, so he agrees to wait, hoping the two will survive until he has time for them. Jin-Woo goes running with his sister, and he wonders what she would do if she had $20 million, but she finds it unrealistic. As Jin-Woo goes to complete his daily quest, he realizes that the counter can go beyond his requirement. He decides to test the limit, and realizes he can do double the requirement. It turns into a secret quest, and he gets the option to receive a blessed loot box. It turns into another key, which seems to lead to the demon's castle, with a difficulty rank of S. He's shocked when he sees that it contains the ingredients for the elixir of life, and he thinks he can use it to save his mother. He opens the dungeon, revealing a flaming portal, wondering if he can really take on an S-rank dungeon, but we see he saved a teleportation stone just in case. As he approaches the entrance, he's confronted by a Cerberus, but he's determined to get stronger. He uses his dash to approach the beast, and he starts slashing at it, but it barely does any damage. He uses his murderous intent skill, but it has no effect. His arm gets bitten, and he loses a third of his HP. He manages to get back up, but the Cerberus uses a skill that doubles its stats. Jin-Woo is unable to react, and he takes another hit. He gets smashed continuously, and we see his health is getting low. He prepares to use his teleportation stone, but the Cerberus attacks again, causing him to drop it. He wonders how he can survive, and he decides to try the snake's poison, remembering how he has debuff immunity, so he's able to get rid of the negative effect. The Cerberus lunges at him, taking another bite out of him, but he survives, and sees that the Cerberus's skill has ended. He rushes at it, and he's finally able to do some damage. The beast bites down on him, but he barely survives, and he stabs the dog's eye. He stabs it repeatedly, and he manages to kill the beast. He levels up after the fight, allowing him to heal, and he's glad that it's over. He receives another key to unlock the demon's castle, as well as the formula for the elixir of life, which requires 3 items from within the castle. Jin-Woo realizes he needs to get stronger before he takes it on, but he swears to be back for it soon. But that's where this video ends. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. He's considered as the weakest hunter's a giant centipede, as the system tells him to survive for 4 hours, so he pays off, but Jin-Woo suddenly pushes him back. Kang wonders who he is, saying he's amazing, because he's incredibly strong, knows that he needs to murdered, currently retired, which seems to lead to use his teleport. He meets up with Yu-Jin, saying he has changed his mind, so he's going to be joining the raids, under the condition that they will enter the dungeons alone. Yu-Jin is surprised to hear this, reminding him that they need 8 members to enter the C-rank dungeons, but he explains that they can just hire people to meet the quota. Yu-Jin thinks it's too risky, but Jin-Woo tells him that they will be able to clear dungeons without casualties, and his father will be impressed to learn about this. He realizes that Jin-Woo has a point, so he decides to look for members to join them. We see Cha in the middle of her training session, and while she's resting, she's approached by a man who invites her to be the guild master of Yu-Jin's guild. Yu-Jin's father Han tells him that the world has changed since the dungeons appeared, saying it can no longer maintain its infrastructure without the resources from the dungeons. Han knows that the world is relying on hunters because they're the only ones who can gather the resources, and they're controlled by the association, which is owned by the state. But he reveals that the guilds are the ones making a fortune, since they're earning profits as the hunters gather resources. He mentions that the top but the wolf is able to catch it, so he's considered as the weakest hunter in the to relax. Believes them, and she judges them based on the raid. Jin-Woo realizes, but he suddenly his head off. Wrong with him. He's shocked when he sees that it contains the dog. He meets up with Yu-Jin is surprised will be impressed to learn about this. He realizes who invite that the world has changed since the dungeons appeared, saying it can no longer maintain its infrastructure without the resources from the dungeons. Han knows that the world is relying on hunters because they're the only ones who can gather the resources, and they're controlled by the association, which is owned by the state. But he reveals that the guilds are the ones making a fortune, since they're earning profits as the hunters gather resources. He mentions that the top guilds in the country are extremely wealthy, so he wants to establish his own guild, thinking it will benefit everyone. We return to Jinwoo, as he completes his daily quest, realizing that he can no longer go beyond his requirement, so he can't get another blessed loot box. He wants to receive an item which will help him get stronger, and he opens a regular loot box, but he receives a bingo card, thinking it's useless. He realizes that completing daily quests is inefficient, so he wants to fight monsters to become stronger. He thinks about defeating the centipede at the penalty zone, thinking it will help him level up, but he isn't sure if it will give him any XP. At that moment, he realizes that the association is looking for hunters to clear a D-rank dungeon, and he decides to join, thinking it's better than relying on daily quests to increase his stats. But he becomes frustrated, realizing that his progress has slowed down. We cut to a dojo, where we see Song-Chi training his student. He receives an emergency summon from the Hunters Association, and his student wonders if he's going to retire as a hunter, since he already lost his arm, but he explains that he wants to do his best to contribute to society. We see Kim with his family, and he also receives the emergency summon, but his wife wants him to quit being a hunter, reminding him that he almost died during the last raid. But he explains that he needs to make ends meet, telling her that he's going to be okay. At the Hunters Guild, Choi talks to Beck, who appears to be upset, because Choi arranged the interview for him at the association. He thinks it was a waste of time, telling Choi that he should have attended it instead, but he explains that he isn't qualified, because he isn't as likable. He tells Beck that Han is preparing to launch his own guild, but Beck reveals that he already knows about this, asking Choi why he wanted to see him. Jui receives a call from her mother, who reveals that she's worried about her, because she appears to be having issues, asking her to quit being a hunter. But she becomes upset, telling her mother to stop running her life, and she ends the call. She starts questioning her capabilities, but she wants to keep on trying, and as she leaves her room, we see that she has received the emergency summon. Cha approaches Choi, and she tells him that she's been invited as the guild master of Yujin's guild, but she reveals that she turned them down, and he's happy to hear this. She tells him that she saw Beck on her way to the office, wondering what he's doing there. We learn that Choi told Beck about Jeju Island, revealing that it has been sealed off after their raid failed, and everyone's trying to forget about it. Beck thinks it doesn't matter, but Choi becomes upset, saying he'll never forget what happened on the island. He wants to clear it, asking Beck to help him gather allies, as he wonders if Beck also lost something during their raid. Beck recalls that they ended up getting overwhelmed, leading to the death of his friends, and he continues to think about them to this day. We see Song-Chi walking around the city, as he thinks about his magical powers, thinking it doesn't fit him, since he's a swordsman. Along the way, he encounters Jinwoo, realizing that his leg has been healed, so Song-Chi wonders what happened to him. He explains that his leg was already healed when he woke up, so Song-Chi thinks that a high-ranked healer took care of it. He's happy to see Jinwoo, but he realizes that Song-Chi never got his arm back, so he becomes sad, but Song-Chi tells him it's okay, and they realize that they're going to be working together. They make their way to the portal, where they see Jui and Kim with another man, who joined them during their last raid. Jui is happy to see them, but the men fall silent, because they're ashamed of what they did, knowing they sacrificed Jinwoo to save themselves. Jui realizes that Jinwoo looks different, and she's glad that he was able to recover. But at that moment, a van arrives, and 3 convicts join them, as the official reveals that they were sent by the association to clear the dungeon, because there aren't enough hunters in the area. She assures everyone that they won't cause trouble, because the B-rank hunter Kang will be watching over them, thinking he should be able to dispose of them if they don't cooperate. Jinwoo finds them suspicious, telling Jui not to participate in the raid, but she tells him that she's joining because she wants to stay with him. Kang removes the convicts' restraints, but he warns them that he will kill them if they act up. He wonders who's going to be acting as the raid leader, and Jinwoo tells Song-Chi to take the role. He thanks Jinwoo for trusting him, blaming himself for what happened in the temple, as he mentions that they were only able to survive because of Jinwoo. So he thanks Jinwoo for saving their lives, and they head into the portal, ready to face what lies ahead. They're attacked by goblins, but the convicts are easily able to deal with them, and Song-Chi wonders if they are the real monsters. Jinwoo also easily takes out the goblins, and Song-Chi wonders where he got his dagger from. Jui notes how she hasn't even needed to heal him at all, and Song-Chi senses how much he has changed. They continue exploring the dungeon, and come to a fork in the road. Kang suggests they should split up, and he decides to take the convicts down one of the paths, but tells them to regroup if they find the boss room. However, thanks to Jinwoo's perception, he's able to tell which path leads to the boss. He thinks that the goblins aren't enough XP for him, so he tells Song-Chi to take the left path. Kim and the other man take the middle, and they split up, but Jinwoo notices Kang watching him. Kim takes out a goblin, and he's glad they're pretty weak. The other man hopes things go smoothly, but Kim thinks it can't be that bad since they let the weakest hunter on the mission, so the dungeon must be low level. But the man reminds him that Jinwoo was also in the last dungeon. Kim feels bad remembering how they abandoned him, and he decides to apologize to Jinwoo after this mission. Meanwhile, with the convicts, they get bored since the goblins are no challenge. In a flashback, we see Kang talking to a man who complains about the 3 men who abused his daughter, and she ended up taking her own life. But hunters are able to get reduced sentences by participating in dungeon raids. He thinks it's not fair, so he offers Kang money to kill them in the dungeon, saying that no one outside will know what happened. Back in the present, Kang tells the men he plans to report that they died to a horde of goblins. He easily takes them down, and he prepares to torture them, but Kim suddenly walks in on him. He realizes the paths are connected, so he realizes the boss is down the left path, and he finishes off the man. Meanwhile, Jinwoo remembers how he met Kang at the hospital, hoping he doesn't recognize him, but he suddenly hears a scream, so they rush back and find the bodies of the convicts. Kim's companion is down, and Kim is also in terrible condition. Jui quickly goes to heal him, and Song-Chi can tell he was attacked with a blade. Kim thinks he can't be saved, but Jinwoo reminds him about his family, wanting him to survive so he can hold his grudge against him. Kim wishes he could apologize under better circumstances, but says he's sorry as he fades away. Kang watches them from above, preparing to attack, but Jinwoo catches his arm. Kang is impressed, but Song-Chi wonders why someone from the association would do something like this. Song-Chi prepares to take him on, thinking Jinwoo isn't strong enough, and he gets Jui to buff him. Even though Kang is higher ranked than him, he thinks assassins usually have low defense. Kang laughs at him for being a mage that uses a sword, but acknowledges that he has some skill. However, Song-Chi takes a hit, but Jui instantly heals him, and Kang is annoyed by her, thinking he needs to take her out first. He rushes at her, but Song-Chi stops him, saying he won't lose in terms of swordsmanship, but Kang's speed is too much, and he gets cut from all sides. Jui tries to heal him, but she's out of power, and Kang thinks it's over, but Song-Chi suddenly uses his fire to blast him. Kang manages to avoid it, and commends him on his plan of using the sword as a distraction. He prepares to finish him off, but Jinwoo suddenly pushes him back. Kang wonders who he is, so he introduces himself as just an A-rank hunter. But Kang doesn't believe him, since he was able to stop 2 of his attacks, and he realizes that Jinwoo must have had a second awakening. Song-Chi thinks it must have been the double dungeon, and Kang finally remembers who Jinwoo is, but he still thinks he has the upper hand since he has more experience. Jinwoo wonders why he did all of this, so he explains how the father asked him to kill the men, saying he's carrying out justice, but Jinwoo wonders about Kim, since he was tortured instead of being silenced, so Jinwoo thinks he's lying about wanting justice. We see Kang talking with the father, accepting his request, but clarifies that he's a top hunter that many guilds want to recruit, but he chose to work for peanuts at the association instead, because he prefers killing people more than monsters. He starts fighting with Jinwoo, and Song-Chi can't believe how fast they're moving. Their speed seems to be equal, but Kang still thinks his experience gives him the edge. He kicks dirt into Jinwoo's eyes, landing multiple slashes, but Jinwoo's system activates, giving him a quest to defeat Kang. He gathers his power, and he suddenly gets even faster. Kang is hit by his dagger's poison, but Kang decides to use his own skill as he suddenly vanishes. Jinwoo tries to find him, but Kang notes that his stealth skill completely conceals him. Jin Woo tries to defend himself, but he gets cut in the leg, and Kang mentions that no one has ever seen his skill and lived to tell the tale. He thinks he's faster now that he cut Jin Woo's leg, but Jin Woo uses his full recovery to instantly heal it. Kang becomes confused, wondering how a combat hunter can also use healing magic, and he starts to think Jin Woo is dangerous. He disappears once again, but Jin Woo is now able to block his attacks by tracking his bloodlust. Jin Woo uses his murderous intent, completely overwhelming Kang, and he's defeated in an instant. Jin Woo completes his quest, and he also acquires the stealth skill. Kang wonders what he is, but Jin Woo says he isn't sure, but says that he's just a hunter that gets stronger with every fight. He thinks about how he's gotten stronger, but also feels something inside of him falling apart. Jui and Song-chi thank him for saving them, and he tells them to get out of the dungeon while he finishes the rest, as he heads to take on the boss alone. We see Jinchul arriving at the scene, and he's surprised to learn Kang has been killing people in secret, thinking he was too careless as his supervisor. His assistant leads him to the survivors, and he's shocked to see Jin Woo among them. He wonders who defeated Kang, so Jin Woo thinks he's about to be exposed, but Song-chi suddenly claims that he was the one who defeated Kang. Jinchul wonders how he did it, since he's lower ranked than Kang, so he explains it was because he had a healer, but Jinchul still finds it sus, but decides to accept it for now, and Jin Woo realizes he can't get cocky just because he defeated Kang, because he can now sense that Jinchul is A-ranked, and he stands no chance against him. Song-chi apologizes for overstepping, but thinks Jin Woo must have a good reason for hiding his strength, saying this is his way of repaying him. Jui realizes that Jin Woo has changed, but she still freaks out during her missions, thinking she doesn't have what it takes to become a successful hunter. She recalls how she had to save him during their past missions, because he always got injured, and she reminds him that he promised to have dinner with her. She shows him the essence stone he gave her, saying she's going to retire so that she can stay with her parents and help them with the family business. She tells him to visit her during his free time, and she returns the stone as they bid each other farewell. Jin Woo recalls that Jinchul warned him to be careful because Donsuk's brother is looking into him. He recognizes Dongsu as an S-rank hunter, and Jinchul tells him that Dongsu doesn't care about the facts, saying he will be coming for them, because they were with Donsuk when he got killed. Jinchul explains that the law is powerless against S-rank hunters because they're too powerful, so he advises Jin Woo to leave the country with his family, making Jin Woo realize he needs to get stronger to defend himself. After some time, we see Jin Woo with Yujin as they prepare to raid a C-rank dungeon. Yujin reveals that he has assembled a strike team, explaining that he chose the hunters who are absolutely useless because they don't need to fight anyway. Jin Woo realizes that he recruited a minor, but he explains that it doesn't matter, and a girl named Song-yi approaches him, saying she's qualified to work as a hunter. So he starts asking her questions, and we learn that she's an E-rank hunter who has no raiding experience whatsoever. Jin Woo tells the other hunters to wait outside, while he and Yujin clear the dungeon together, but one of them asks if they are serious, because they're paying everyone 3 million just to do nothing. Yujin confirms this, saying they don't need to fight, but they aren't allowed to tell anyone about their deal, or they need to pay him 10 times the amount. Yujin wears a new set of armor, saying he's planning to use it during the raid, but Jin Woo pokes him, and he crashes to the ground, so Jin Woo advises him to take it off, because he can't even move while wearing it. They enter the gate, but everyone thinks they're insane, thinking they won't make it, because they're low-rank hunters. But after an hour, everyone sees Yujin leaving the gate, and they realize that the dungeon has been cleared, and they can't believe it, wondering how they defeated the boss. They decide to head to the next gate, and Yujin reveals that they plan to clear 3 dungeons in one day, saying everyone's going to earn 9 million in total. Jin Woo encounters countless monsters during the raids, but he easily defeats all of them, allowing him to level up. Yujin realizes that Jin Woo is getting stronger because he's using new skills, and he notes that stealth is useful because it allows him to fight while he's invisible. Yu Jin takes the loot, as Jinwoo realizes that he doesn't have enough mana to use his skills, so he thinks about increasing his intellect. He suddenly receives a notification, which mentions that he has reached the required level, so he can now accept the job change quest. At the White Tiger Guild, we meet the manager named Sang, as he learns that someone spent 150 million to acquire the rights to the C-rank gates. His assistant tells him about Yujin's strike team, explaining that Yujin is the son of a wealthy businessman. But Sang thinks he's crazy, and he looks into the members of the team, realizing that Jinwoo is one of them, and he takes interest in him. Sang believes that Jinwoo has reawakened, telling his assistant that Jinwoo has survived 3 major disasters, which led to the death of several hunters. He believes the only explanation is that Jinwoo has gotten stronger, so he decides to look for him. Sang finds Yujin's group, but he wonders why they're having a picnic, and Song Yi approaches him, telling him that the area is off limits. So he explains that his curiosity led him there, asking her if she's a part of the team, but he wonders why Jinwoo isn't with them. He realizes that Jinwoo is trying to clear the dungeon without them, thinking he must be extremely powerful, and Sang decides to leave. Moments later, Jinwoo exits the gate, and he asks Yujin if he can take a day off, because he has something he needs to do. But Yujin explains that they still need to clear the dungeons he reserved, and they realize that they might have to cancel it, but Yujin won't get his money back. We cut to Choi, as he has a nightmare about his raid on Jeju Island. We learn that he's been having the same dream, but he realizes that it's almost time to put his plan into action. We return to Jinwoo, as Sang approaches him, and they have a drink at a cafe, as Sang introduces himself, saying he's from the White Tiger Guild. He tells Jinwoo that they want to hire him, and they're willing to pay him twice the amount that Yujin is paying him. But he asks Sang how much the White Tiger Guild is worth, so he reveals that it's close to 50 billion, and Jinwoo explains that they can't afford him, because Yujin offered to give him a building worth 30 billion. Sang is surprised to hear this, and Jinwoo is about to leave, but he wonders how Sang learned about him. He suddenly disappears, and Sang panics, as Jinwoo cuts him. He realizes that Jinwoo is using the stealth skill, so Sang immediately apologizes for looking into him, saying he meant no harm. He reveals that he came across Jinwoo's name while he was looking into the dungeon market, saying the guild needs C-rank dungeons to train rookies, but Yujin already bought the rights to all of them. He explains that he and his assistant are the only ones who know about Jinwoo, and he tells Sang that he wants to keep a low profile, threatening to kill them if they write a report about him. So Sang promises to keep his mouth shut, and Jinwoo spares his life, explaining that his team needs to monopolize the C-rank gates until they achieve their goal. He offers to sell 3 gates for 900 million, but Sang thinks it's too expensive, offering 600 million instead, and Jinwoo ends up agreeing. Before they part ways, Jinwoo tells Sang to open his mouth, and he gives Sang a healing potion, so he asks Jinwoo if he trusts him, but he just tells Sang to keep his mouth shut. Jinwoo returns home, and Yujin tells him that he has received the 600 million from Sang, asking him how he was able to sell the dungeons at a ridiculously high price. But he refuses to say anything, and Sang realizes that he has been scammed, because there are other C-rank dungeons selling for less than half the price. He receives a message from Jinwoo, which mentions that he's going to forget that Sang spied on him, and Sang realizes that they're now even. Jinwoo leaves the city, and he goes to a forest, where he plans to complete the job change quest. He notes that he was given time to decide, thinking the quest is going to be difficult, but he accepts it anyway, and a portal appears, so he enters it, as he wonders what's waiting for him inside. He realizes that the dungeon is too peaceful, but the system informs him that he can't heal while he's inside, and he can't leave until he has cleared the dungeon. A knight approaches him, so he equips his dagger, and he manages to land a hit, but it doesn't do anything. So he tries using his skill to land a critical hit, but his dagger can't pierce through its armor, and he realizes that his weapon is useless against it. So he uses his bare hands, and he's able to remove its head, killing it in an instant, but a group of knights suddenly appear. We cut to Yujin, as he has dinner with his family. We learn that his brother Yusong is trying to establish a guild, but he can't find an S-rank hunter to lead it, so he thinks about recruiting hunters from overseas. He knows that Yujin is also trying to start a guild in secret, so he tells Yujin not to get in the way, but he chooses not to say anything, thinking his brother will be surprised to learn about Jinwoo. Jinwoo uses his brute strength to defeat the knights, and he notes that he's getting tired, but he suddenly senses a presence, so he takes his weapon, and he stabs an assassin, realizing that they have the stealth skill. A mage suddenly attacks him, but it misses, as he realizes that the enemies in the dungeon are similar to the ones he fought in the past. He knows that dealing with them is going to be difficult, because they have different weaknesses, and he notes that he needs higher intellect to deal with the mages. So he struggles against them, and he realizes that his fatigue is starting to build up. But he still manages to defeat them, and he realizes that they dropped an armor, so he decides to wear it, realizing that it's invisible, and it doesn't restrict his movements. He notes that his fatigue has recovered, so he decides to proceed deeper, and he sees an enormous door, so he opens it, thinking he's about to meet the boss. He enters the throne room, where he senses a powerful presence as the Knight Commander named Igris appears. He realizes that it's stronger than him, thinking it's nothing like the opponents he defeated so far. It suddenly charges in, and he's able to evade its attack, but it shatters the pillar behind him. Igris takes a swing, and he tries to block it, but it sends him flying, and Igris continues to pursue him as he struggles to keep up with its movements. He tries to fight back, but it dodges his attacks, and he manages to land a hit, but it doesn't do anything. Igris strikes back, and he tries to defend against it, but it manages to overpower him, pushing him back. He notes that he can match Igris's speed, but he's no match for its strength, and his dagger is useless against its armor, so he wonders how he can defeat it. He doesn't think he can win without his weapon, but he decides to throw hands, and Igris throws away his weapons, wanting to fight fair. We see Gunyi in his office, as Jinchul joins him, telling him that Choi has made his move, and Gunyi receives a call from Choi, who reveals that his group is ready to head out. He thanks Gunyi for approving the mission, and Gunyi explains that the public hasn't forgotten about Jeju Island, telling him to be careful. We return to Jinwoo, as Igris smashes him to the ground, and throws him away. He endures a brutal beatdown, and he notes that he would have died if it weren't for his armor. Thinking the only way to defeat Igris is to boost his speed, so he uses his dash skill, and he attacks Igris with everything he has. But it manages to evade his attacks, and it counters, launching him to the air, and smashing him into the ground. But Jinwoo refuses to give up, attacking Igris relentlessly, and he's able to hit its head, causing it to black out. But it immediately recovers, and it becomes enraged, delivering a devastating combo, and sending him crashing against the wall. Jinwoo is exhausted, as Igris summons its sword. Trying to finish him off, but he still refuses to give up, pushing the sword away. He equips his dagger, and he uses it to blind Igris, causing it to become stunned, as he smashes it against the corner. But Igris takes his dagger, trying to use it to kill him, but it suddenly disappears, because it can't change owners, so it returns to Jinwoo's inventory. He equips it once again, and he targets Igris's neck, attacking it with everything he has. The dagger pierces through it, killing Igris in an instant, as Jinwoo realizes he has won, but he notes that he just got lucky, because Igris was the superior fighter. The system shows him his rewards, which includes an S-rank helmet, so he tries wearing it, as he notes that this is the first time he acquired such a powerful equipment. He also receives a rune stone, which allows him to learn a skill called the Ruler's Hand, and he wonders why Igris dropped a teleportation stone, thinking he has already cleared the dungeon, and he wonders why he has a rune stone. First time he acquired such a powerful equipment. He also receives a rune stone, which allows him to learn a skill called the Ruler's Hand, and he wonders why Igris dropped a teleportation stone, thinking he has already cleared the dungeon. But portals suddenly appear, as the system tells him to survive for as long as possible. It displays a timer, as countless knights enter the room, so Jinwoo takes them on, but he realizes that there's too many of them. So he uses his stealth skill, thinking about hiding to buy time, but a mage appears, and it casts a spell, which allows the knights to see him. He's about to get hit, so he uses his murderous intent, stunning the knights, and he takes them out, but he realizes that he's running out of mana. He struggles to fight on, realizing that he has only survived for 5 minutes, and he thinks about using the teleportation stone, but a knight suddenly attacks him, causing him to drop it. He gets sent flying, and thinks that without the teleportation stone, the only way to survive is to continue fighting. He does his best against the knights, but his stamina is low, so he can't use his skills. He barely has any HP left, but he refuses to give up and continues to fight. However, he reaches his limits and is brought to his knees. He thinks about his companions telling him he's done enough, and he sees his old self, thinking he should be happy with how far he has come. Meanwhile, at the association, we learn more about the previous Jeju Island raid. It was a horrific failure where many lives were lost, scarring all the hunters that survived, but Gunyi thinks it's something they need to overcome, or else they will all be destroyed. Jinwoo continues to struggle, and his other self tells him that although he might look different, he's still the same E-rank hunter, telling him to know his place. Jinwoo gets smashed into the ground, and a knight approaches to finish him off, but he notices that his daily quest is just about to expire. He gets a penalty for not completing it, and gets teleported to the penalty zone just in time. He uses the store to buy potions to recover his stamina, but he's suddenly surrounded by giant centipedes. But he charges at them, determined to get even stronger. He manages to defeat them all, gaining multiple levels, and he has 10 minutes left in the area. He checks his shop for new weapons, and he buys the Night Killer Dagger, which deals bonus damage to armored monsters. He also uses the runestone he got from Igris, and he gains the Ruler's Hand skill, which allows him to affect objects without directly touching them. His timer reaches 0, and he's sent back to the dungeon, but he's ready for round 2. Meanwhile, we see Choi's group preparing for another raid on Jeju Island. Cha apologizes for not being able to be part of the last raid, but suddenly they detect a strange mana source in the water. Jinwoo is able to defeat the knights with his new weapon, but he feels something is off, because he doesn't seem to be gaining any XP. He notices that the mages are casting some kind of strange spell, and he realizes that the knights are just summoned monsters. He throws his dagger to take out one of the mages, and its summoned knights are also destroyed. Jinwoo continues to go after the mages, using his new skill to pull one of them in. However, the 3 remaining mages work together, and they summon a giant golem, but Jinwoo dodges its attacks, and he goes straight for the mages. The golem continues to attack, but Jinwoo pushes it back and manages to destroy it. The timer reaches over 4 hours, and he completes the job change quest. He gets to switch to an advanced class based on his performance, and he's given the Necromancer class. He wonders what's going on, since Necromancers are usually casters, but he hasn't put any of his stats into intellect. He thinks it's a waste since it doesn't suit his fighting style, and he's given an option to reject it. But when he tries to reject it, the system mentions that the Necromancer is a hidden class, so he ends up accepting it, and since he was able to exceed the survival time and kill all the monsters, he gains a number of bonus points. His advancement points exceed the threshold, causing dark energy to swell around him, and his class is upgraded to the Shadow Monarch. The job change is completed, and he starts to hear the voices of the knights, as he gains the ability to use shadow extraction on them. It requires a command word to activate, so he decides on Arise, causing the knights to stand once more and become his minions. He thinks about controlling something stronger, so he turns his attention to Igris. He uses his extraction skill, and it suddenly pulses with energy, but the skill fails, and he only has 2 more attempts. He tries again, but it fails for a second time. Jinwoo thinks Igris must have been waiting for his king's return, but asks him to serve him instead. He activates his extraction skill one last time, and he successfully manages to turn Igris into one of his soldiers. But that's where the series ends for now. Remember to like and subscribe to the
We're introduced to a character him in a chokehold, twisting his head, but it had no effect. Greeted with numerous reporters, one in the middle of the road. As he enters, it's like your fate has been decided. We're introduced to a character named Sang Jinwoo. He's an E-rank hunter. Basically, the weakest of us has been slain. After the battle ended, Jinho treated him differently. Suddenly, an explosion shook the cave. The leader has arrived. They're in shock as the boss has been reopened. They explain that they were the ones who only survived. The guild leader of strong hunters. Suddenly, monsters came from the cave at tremendous speed. As they were holding their ground, more of them emerged from the darkness. But without yet, in the night, a middle-aged man is seeking back to Korea. In a building, 2 people are discussing the bizarre incident that occurred in a C-rank dungeon. He confidently said that the device used to thought. Getting serious, he sliced him in multiple spots. A surge of magical energy engulfs the ground. Did he manage to defeat him? Sang Jinwoo. He asked about his identity. Sang Jinwoo told all the monsters have been slain. Based on his performance, he's now a necromancer. This doesn't make sense, since it doesn't suit his fighting style. From his allocated stats. However, this might be a blessing in disguise, since he can have an army that also grows stronger with him. When he accepted the job change, his achievement far exceeds the limit.